Hello, and welcome to session 2 of the Introduction to the EEC Background Record Check Program portal. My name is Megan Sullivan, and I am the Background Record Check Manager at the Department of Early Education and Care. And today I am joined with my colleague, Michelle Kramer, our BRC Tech Consultant. As I mentioned, this is session 2. So if you did not join us for session 1, the goal of our trainings is to make sure that all you, the licensees, and the BRC admins are aware of how to use the BRC program portal and make your role easier by being more efficient in entering and managing your submissions. These trainings are separated into 3 sessions. Our first session was focused on the EEC website, where you can locate various resources and more specifically our BRC policies. We also went over the latest consent form and how that should be filled out by both you and the candidate, as well as we went into how to enter a candidate into the system for the first time. If you missed the first session, please feel free to check out that recorded session on our website at any point in time. For today's session, we will be introducing you to the dashboard and the information on that, as well as the submission index, most commonly referred to as the roster page. Today we will begin as well as logging into the system like we did in the session 1, and Michelle will show you how to log in again.
Good day. You're going to enter the email address for which you have been provisioned to use our program portal. It may pop up for you like it did for me. You're then going to enter your password. Yep, already had a typo. And you're going to click sign in. As long as the system verifies you, it then wants to have you send a verification code. And that verification code will come into your email account. So you want to have your email account close at hand. And you'll notice that it just came in. It comes from Microsoft on behalf of mass.gov. I go ahead and click to open that, and it gives me a code. You are welcome to copy and paste the code or simply data enter the code into the verification field. And then you click verify code. The codes are good for 5 minutes. So if you get interrupted and you need a new code, you may click that new code. I'm going to go ahead. Now that I'm verified, I'm going to continue. And it waits to log me in to the BRC program portal. And I'm logged in on the BRC program portal dashboard. Megan, back to you.
Thank you. So as Michelle said, this is the dashboard where you are landing. And again, I just want to quickly throw you over to the left-hand side where we did pay attention to these in session 1. So we're not going to go over them today, but we will just highlight again the icons on the left-hand side. Your first icon is the dashboard where we are landed right now. Your second icon is that submission index, which we will be showing you in a few moments. Also again referred to as your roster page. The third icon is the new submission where you can enter candidates for the first time or enter them if they've already been into the system for other inquiries. The third icon, or I should say the fourth icon, is the BRC support tool system. This will take you directly to our ticketing system. So if you have any questions or inquiries, you can certainly submit that directly from this portal. Then we have the training link. If you click on this will bring you directly to the EEC website where we have any BRC program portal trainings and leads trainings as well that you can access through directly this link. And finally, the last icon is specifically for you folks, the residential and placement programs. This is a report that brings information out from our BRC manager system, as we also refer to as our legacy system, and you can see candidates that had been run in the last 4 years or anybody that is up for a renewal. So you do have 2 different reports available to you. Again, we will not be showing you those as we showed those to you in session 1. I want you to bring you over to the middle of the page. If you are a larger umbrella and have multiple programs under your umbrella, you will see a drop-down box where you have the choice to pick whichever program you would like to focus on at the time. Again, when you log into the system, you are brought in through the umbrella, so you can choose to view it on the umbrella level, or you can select any program that you wish to focus your attention to. In the middle of the page, we highlight certain action items that we'd like you to pay immediate attention to. Most specifically is the not suitable candidates that are now on your roster that we would like you to take an action to. As you can see, these candidates need to be out of your program if they are currently working in the program, or unfortunately, they are not available for hire to you at this time. You would click on the View section, and it brings you directly to the candidate's submission page. As you can see, Michelle's mouse is on the Edit Employment Info in the top right-hand corner. And this is where you can make the determination of not hiring them or ending their employment depending on their current status with your program. We would like you to take this action immediately so that way they can be out of your roster and out of the program within the amount of time allotted that they have. We'll go back to the dashboard. And then the next highlighted section is the BRC expired candidates. Again, this is something that we are calling out to you for immediate action so that any candidate that is currently working for your program, you are renewing that BRC immediately if it is already expired. Otherwise, if they no longer work for you, again, we would like you to click on that action so you can hit view and you can end their employment if they are no longer with you. It's important to keep these rosters up to date so that you have correct accuracy just showing on your system. So those are the two big callouts in the middle. They are repeated on the left-hand side, but we wanted to highlight that for you to have immediate attention drawn to. On the left-hand side, you will see the first section, action needed for your applicants. These are any candidate that is on your applicant tab. When you click on them, you will see anybody that is currently needing action taken on. They are in a completed and suitable or not suitable status. So depending on the determination of their suitability is the actions that you have available to you. This first candidate is a completed and suitable candidate. So if this is someone you are choosing to hire, you can click on the action and choose hired. And that candidate will move directly to your all staff tab at this point in time. There are also not suitable candidates available on your roster. And again, this is an action that we are requiring you to take. There is a not hired or an employment, and in some instances, there is a resubmit candidate for this individual. So depending on their situation, that may be also available to you for you to resubmit them. And then again, we would ask you to take that not hired action immediately, and they would move from your applicants tab to your inactive tab. Back to the dashboard, we have your saved submissions. When you click on this, again, it brings you directly to your applicants tab and highlights all your candidates and any saved status. Again, this is someone that we kind of mentioned in session 1. It is someone that you entered at the beginning, and unfortunately, you didn't finish completing the process. You left off. Maybe you didn't have their license. You got called away from the office and you couldn't finish the submission. We ask that you go back and verify whether or not this is a candidate you are actually still actively trying to hire and need to finish the submission. So you would just go off the wizard tabs up in the front, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and finish the completion and submit it. Otherwise, if it is a candidate you are no longer wishing to pursue, then the bottom right-hand corner, there is the delete application, and you would like to delete this out of your submission so that you're no longer appearing on your roster as well. The next is the canceled requests. Canceled requests will show on your dashboard for any candidate that you had tried to enter for a suitability transfer, and the survey that the candidate received is no longer available to them, that they don't have the ability to suitability transfer, and it turns into a resubmission, which requires a full BRC. This submission, it goes into a saved status, and again, it needs action by you to continue the process to complete for this resubmission to go through. I just want to highlight that this is the same as obtaining a new consent form and getting all the information that you may not have that is in the system is filled out. So if you have a consent form with a middle name and the previous entry did not have a middle name, we ask that you add all the pertinent information that is available to you. That suitability transfer survey that I mentioned, I just want to note as well, the candidate does also get a notification that the survey did not go through and that BRC needs to be completed by the program. So they may be in contact with you as well to say, hey, my transfer didn't go through. Can you submit my BRC? And again, you would just complete that process, following the same way you would do as a new candidate and submit this portion. When we go back to the wizard, you'll see the next section, action needed for staff. These candidates are anyone that is on your all staff tab. You will click confirm employment, and this will bring up anybody that has been determined to be suitable that is currently in your program. And we would like you again to take an action on that. As you can see, the employment status is undetermined. These are candidates that we would like you to confirm their employment since they are currently already with you and you are just retaining their employment status. So you would click on confirm employment. And again, they would be removed from your listing on your dashboard. The next is your saved submissions, again on your all staff. These are candidates that you have, again, already in your program that is now in a pending status. We would like you again to go ahead and finish the process to submit that candidate, or if they're no longer with you, you would delete that application. Your expired BRCs, again, we highlighted that in the middle of the program for you, but this is now on the left-hand side. You can click here as well, and this will bring all your candidates that have been expired. Again, we ask you to take the action of either renewing the candidate's BRC, or if they are no longer with your program, you would end their employment. In other reports, the in-process applicants, when we click on this, is all your candidates that are in current processing with the BRC. You can see in the request status, the in-process status, as well as the suitability status. Some you will see are in a pending state as they have not been fingerprinted. However, once a candidate has been fingerprinted, you will notice all your candidates go into an ineligible for provisional approval. This is a status that is not available to you and is available only to our group and school age programs. So that is why you will see any candidate that has been fingerprinted in this status. And you just need to wait until you have full suitability to be able to hire that candidate. You will then go to your in-process staff. And again, this is someone that has now been renewed and is currently in process. And you would just want to make sure that, if they're still working for you, you have them get fingerprinted, or if you're no longer pursuing that employment, they left and got a different job, you would want to end that employment, again, to remove that from your roster. And then last, we again highlight your BRC renewals. And this is for any candidate that is coming up for renewal within 120 days. And you would want to enter that BRC. Again, if they are currently working for you, you would initiate that renewal. Otherwise, you would end their employment if they are, again, no longer on your roster. And that is your dashboard. The next, again, we will take you to the submission index icon, also referred to as your roster. Over to you, Michelle.
Thanks. So the roster has 3 tabs: the applicants tab, the all staff tab, and the inactive tab. And as you noticed, we referred to these 2 on the dashboard separately. Applicants are the people that have applied to your umbrella and are new, and you have new to your umbrella, and they appear on applicants. All staff are the people that are actually working in your program on this date according to our BRC program portal. And inactive is where anybody who no longer works for you or you chose not to hire them, but they go onto your inactive tab. These people remain on these tabs forever. They don't go away. We don't delete Let's just swing back here to the applicants tab for a moment, but all tabs start with the name, and this is in an alphabetical order. We also have role. You have the ability to sort by these columns. For example, if you wanted to sort by role, you can click on it and you can see that I sorted backwards. So it starts with V for volunteer, and I can click this sort button and it will then sort A to Z. And you can do that on each of these columns. We also tell you right here on the tab what request type it is. This happens to be a new submission. Down here, we have somebody who was a results transfer. We give you created dates. We give you a box here that says the request has been submitted. There's a check mark. This candidate here has not been fingerprinted, but this submission, the candidate has been. And then the request status, is it in process? Is it completed? And this has all the different statuses. As Megan pointed out from the dashboard, when you click on those that you need to confirm, we will show you the completeds. So that's why the dashboard is a very helpful tool. Then, of course, what's the person's suitability? Additionally, we have our little eyeball here, which gives you some quick information. So if you, for example, wanted to know for this candidate, you can click here and see their fingerprint date. You can see their email that was submitted. You can quickly verify their social security number if you're questioning that. And of course, you see which program within your umbrella they're associated with. And then they all have actions. Our next tab is all staff. And all staff has mostly the same columns, but you'll notice that now on the all staff, the fingerprint processed, we then have a renewal date. And so this is the date that this person needs to be renewed by. And as Megan pointed out on her list of BRC renewals, this person is within the 120-day window, and that is shown by an exclamation point. So within a 120-day window is when you can submit somebody for renewal. While Carol is fully background record checked and her fingerprint is currently active. And then down here, we have Richard King, and Richard, his fingerprint has expired. And that is shown by what I always call the red X, but it's a red circle with a white X. So those three items denote the status of the fingerprint. And if it's an empty box, that candidate has not gone and gotten fingerprinted yet. So Patrick Monson, who is an employee, he's currently working for you. You've processed him as a renewal, and he has not been fingerprinted. If you wanted to follow up with Patrick, the first thing you'd want to do is open up Patrick's record and check to see if Patrick has actually scheduled his fingerprint. You might find that there's a date here listed for tomorrow, so you don't have any worry. But in this case, he's been submitted now for about let's say a week, and you want to follow up with him and ask him to please go get fingerprinted. You can always go back to your roster, and it takes you back to the tab that you're on. And our last roster tab is the inactive. These individuals no longer are working for you, or maybe they never worked for you. But I want to specifically point out, let's see if we can find somebody that we can bring back. So we have somebody who was inactivated on August 8th, 2024. That's when you inactivated her. When you hit end employment, we posted that date. And you'll notice when I click on actions, I can resubmit her. But as long as she has been active within your program within the last 180 days, you can simply activate her. Perhaps she took a leave of absence and now she's back. You can simply activate her because it has been less than 180 days. If it's been more than that, we request that you reach out to our contact center. Maybe she was active with another entity and the activate will be acceptable, or maybe you do need to resubmit her. Uh, so again, I wanted to show you, I wanted to show you about searching within our system. And when you search, it searches on the tab that you have highlighted. So for example, if we go ahead and search for our friend Brittany Wright, we can search for Brittany by her name, and you'll notice that it brings up just Brittany. She happened to be on that inactive tab where I already was. And you'll notice that if I search for her on all staff, she's not there. The other method for searching, or there's a few methods I want to show you, is to search by an alias. Now, you may not even know that you're actually searching by an alias, but this individual calls in and she says, I'm Josie, Josie alias, and that's not what her name is. It's Josie Lewis. Josie Lewis, and you go ahead and enter that and you hit search. And Josie does not come up on your inactive tab. So you click on your all staff, and there's Josephine Lewis. What I want to point out here is we have the black circle with the dots, and this is where you can see the aliases. So Josephine never remembers to use her legal name when she calls, and she says Josie, but you can still find her. You, of course, can then confirm and say you are Josephine Lewis. You can then open up her record here. You could verify her social security number. Maybe she knows her BRC ID. Or you can actually open up her entire record if you so wish, if you wish to confirm her date of birth or any other information. So we can search by the name, and if it's not an alias, it won't appear. So if we did not know that Josephine went by Josie, and that wasn't included in the alias on the consent form, you would not find her. But I do want to switch over here for a second and let's search for just Joe Lewis. Not on the all staff. Not on the applicants, but comes up here. Because Joe are the first two letters, we will also find the individual. Another way that you can search is if you do know the BRC ID of the candidate, you can search by the BRC ID. I just pasted the BRC ID in. As an FYI, the BRC IDs are located on the top right of any communication. So if there's a fingerprint letter within your in your program portal database for her, your BRC ID would be there. And so then if we search, we find that this BRC ID brings up a gentleman by the name of Ronald Miner. One more way that you can search is if you're having difficulty finding the candidate, you can search by date of birth. Nobody on my all staff tab for January 1st. Let's check my applicants. Damian McAllister, is that who you're looking for? Nope. You could also try inactive, and maybe it's Mary Beth Miller, or the candidate that you're looking for isn't here. One last thing that we'd like you to be able to use to search for is the email address. So I'm actually, as you know, I'm the BRC administrator for the DK residential umbrella. So I have to have a background record check in order to get this status. Therefore, I am listed here in your umbrella as well. So let's go ahead and look for me. Good to know I'm not inactive, because if I'm inactive, I should not be logging in. But there I am on the all staff with that email address. Let me take a quick moment here to open up my record. If for some chance I was to wanted to change my email address that I receive personal communications, I could change it here. I would click the edit button and I could change my email. I'm just going to change it to M. Kramer, just so you can see that I'm making a change, and I can go ahead and submit. And you'll notice that it's immediately changed. Maybe you have found out that I've relocated and I don't live at 12 Maple Street anymore. maybe I now live in Andover. We'll say it's still 12 Maple Street. Please note that the box was checked, that the residential and the mailing are the same. So this system automatically updates this. If I now have a PO box, you would uncheck this and you would enter the PO box. I can go ahead and click submit, and you'll notice that it immediately changes that I now am noted in the system as 12 Maple Street in Andover. While we're on this overview screen details, I want to scroll down and show you that any communications that have been sent to the candidate from our system are listed here, and you're able to see them as well. So the fingerprint letter, which is the first thing we send out when you submit the candidate, and then later on the candidate received their suitability determination letter. You can click these and the PDF will open and you can download them if you need, but they're always here for you. During the process of entering this candidate originally, you had the ability to add documents as we showed you during the new candidate entry in session 1. But if, for example, you have an updated ID, you can add additional documents while this candidate is in the system. And as I mentioned, this candidate's in the system forever. Let's go ahead back to the top. And let's go ahead and clear this. I'm going to hit the X and I'm going to hit the search bar, and it will just bring me back everybody that is currently on the all staff. From here, what I wanted to show you is the filter icon. The filter icon, which you've seen popping up during our demonstration today, allows you to look for very specific information, whether it be for your umbrella, whether it be for a specific program. So I thought today the use case that I would share with you is that I want to look for all my candidates that are listed as working for me in a specific program. Let's just say it's program 3, because the EEC licensing team is going to be doing an audit shortly, and I want to make sure that everything is good. So when it comes up, it shows me that for program 3, these are the individuals that I believe are working in our system. I can also download. Only after searching can you download your staff CSV. All of the systems are different, so please note, for me using Chrome, I get my downloads right here. You may just have them in your downloads folder on your PC, so I'll leave that to you. But I can go ahead and open up, and this is an Excel document that we are giving you. A couple of things I want to mention here are, now that this Excel document has been downloaded, this is outside of the BRC program portal and EEC's realm. So when it comes to security, we're not going to kick you out of here. If you don't use the BRC program portal for 15 minutes, we will kick you out and you'll have to log in again. That is a security feature. That's not the case once you're outside of the BRC program portal and you're looking, for example, at this Excel document. So please make sure of your surroundings when you have the data open, as there is PII information. You'll notice here the date of birth, as well as the candidate's name. You can do whatever you want with this Excel document now. You can delete a column, you can sort, you can save it if you wish, or you can click close and choose to not save. But that is all within your control. Navigator doesn't have any information about that. You can do that for any tab. If you wanted to download all of your applications that are on the all staff, perhaps you're the individual that uses the BRC program portal, but your HR department knows everybody's employment status. And so you want to share information with them so that you can then update your rosters. I have one more thing I would like to show you. On our all staff page, Jody Bell. or let's do Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith, I'm going to click on Dennis, and we're back on the overview details page. And Dennis is currently working for us, and he's assigned at DK Residential Program 3. But on Saturdays, Dennis is going to work at Program 2. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click Program 2, and I'm then going to submit. And you'll now notice that Dennis is listed at both locations. Now, maybe Dennis a month later is no longer working at number 2 anymore, or he's no longer working at 3. You would click the X to remove and then submit. And now, once again, it is updated and shows his accurate work location. That is all I have for today, and I am going to turn it back to Megan.
Thank you, Michelle. And hopefully today's session taught you a little bit more of how to use your dashboard and your submission index, again, as we refer to as our roster pages, to hopefully make your job easier and again, manage your BRC submissions more in a timely manner and accurately. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always give our contact center a call at 617-988-7841. And we hope to see you soon at session 3. Thank you.